Good morning, class. How are you doing, all of you? So, yesterday we started with the chapter Symmetry and we learned what is symmetry, how it is seen in our surroundings, how we can draw a line of symmetry, and it divides the figure into two identical parts which can overlap each other. So all of this we learned yesterday. Now we also drew some line of symmetry for the given figures. Some figures may have line of symmetry, some of them not. So likewise, today we will study about those figures, some of those figures which have more than one line of symmetry. So we start with So let's start with first figure. First figure that we are considering is a square. So for what is the property of square? That all its sides are equal. So let's take it equal to 5 centimeter. So this is a square. Now you have to find the line of symmetry. That means the folds which would give you two identical overlapping parts. Okay, so let's start with a figure on the paper. Though by observation also you can find some of the lines of symmetry, but that if you are able to, that's very good. So let's draw it over a piece of paper. You can also do the activity together with me. So let's cut the paper from the So we have this square of side 5 centimeter. Now what is the line of symmetry for this square? So you know that line of symmetry is a fold in which one part overlap each other. So what is the simplest? Let's start doing the fold of this square. So first square can be folded like this. Upper part folded over the bottom part. So this is a vertical fold and horizontal line of symmetry. So first line of symmetry that I get on this sheet of paper of a square is this fold in which the first part exactly overlaps the second part. So this is your first line of symmetry. So I can make it over the figure also. So my first line of symmetry would be half of the line joining the two points which divide the square exactly half to each other. So this is my first line of symmetry. How else we can fold? We have folded it along the horizontal direction. Now we fold it along the vertical or standing line. So in this way also the one half falls over the other. So my second line of symmetry becomes like this. This is the second line of symmetry. If you give a fold over here, then you get the two overlapping points, two overlapping parts. Then how else you can fold this? Now this is a bit tricky. Now you know what are diagonals of square or rectangle. Diagonals of square would be two opposite angles joining each other. So if I fold it along the corners of the square, then also this would have a symmetrical one part overlapping the other. Okay, so diagonals are the lines which join opposite corners. So I have folded one corner over the other. So what is the line of symmetry that I get? The line of symmetry here is, see, I am folding, suppose I give it a name A, B, C, D. When I am folding along AC, my overlapping vertices are B and D. So what is my line of symmetry? Line of symmetry would be this part where you have folded the paper. Okay, so don't get confused about the corners. You have folded the paper about A and C, and in this way you get another line of symmetry, which is the third line of symmetry. So our third line of symmetry is like this, in this way. This is the third line of symmetry. Now you can guess what would be our next line of symmetry. If we fold the other side where B and D corners are folded, A, B, C, D. Now I am folding it along B and D. So this is my, sorry, I am folding it along A and C. So this is my part and this is the overlapping part, and we get the fourth line of symmetry along BD. So in this way you can say that there are four line of symmetries four lines of symmetry for a square. Okay, then we come to some other next figure, which may be a rectangle. Now you know what is rectangle. Rectangle is a figure in which two opposite sides are equal. So we make a rectangle here. So let's make length 8 centimeter and breadth we take as 5 centimeter. You also draw it on a piece of paper which you can tear. On a piece of paper you draw the rectangle like this. So let's draw the figure over a piece of paper. let's cut the paper. So I have got this rectangle with its length 8 centimeter and breadth 5 centimeter. Okay, like this. Now when you fold it upper part over the bottom part, then you get the first line of symmetry. You have made the two parts identical to each other. This is this way you have folded. So my first line of symmetry lies horizontally, and I can draw the line of symmetry like this. This is the first fold. Similarly, in the figure, I will get the first line of symmetry. Then next would be, if you fold it, turn it along the left side, then you get the second line of symmetry, and this is the vertical line of symmetry, the second fold. So we get the second line of symmetry here, the vertical line of symmetry. So it is first line, second line. Now we will also try folding along the diagonal. So I take one of the part, say A, B, C, D, and I fold it along AC. So when I fold it along AC, I see that the two parts are not exactly overlapping each other. Some of the part remains as it is with no overlap. So that means along the diagonal, first diagonal, you cannot fold the rectangle to get the line of symmetry. So rectangle is not symmetrical along the diagonal, its diagonal. Again I fold it along B and D. So then again also some part is left behind, no overlapping take place. So you can say that there is no line of symmetry along the diagonals. So here we will say that square has line of symmetry along diagonals, and there are total 4 lines of symmetry. This is the full statement. In this you will write that rectangle has 2 lines of symmetry and rectangle is not symmetrical. Rectangle is not symmetrical along diagonals. This is very important point. Rectangle has only 2 lines of symmetry and it is not symmetrical along the diagonal. Now there are some figure on page number 221 where you have to show that how many lines of symmetry these figures have. So we try to make the first figure is looking, this is you can say that page number 221. one is a flower. So what is, how flower is symmetrical? It is having six petals are there in the flower. And what would be the line of symmetry? You can fold it along any two of the petals like this. This is first line of symmetry. You can fold the second along the other two petals. Then this is second line of symmetry, and you can fold it along the third pair of petals. So you would get third line of symmetry. So basically there are three lines of symmetry in a flower. In a flower with six petals. Basically if you increase the petals, then if you increase the number of petals, the line of symmetry would also increase. So you have to look into it. Then the next figure is, another figure is given to you where you have figure like this. This is the figure. Now you have to find the line of symmetry for this figure. So what things you have to keep in mind? That one part should overlap the other part. So how would you fold the figure so that one part overlap the other? If I fold it along a horizontal line, then this would be my first line of symmetry. Okay, if I fold the upper portion and bring it down, then the two parts would be identical and overlap each other. So one line of symmetry. Then second line of symmetry would be a vertical line here, which would divide the figure into two halves vertically, one on the left side, one on the right side. If you overlap left side over the right, it would totally superimpose on each other. So you have two lines of symmetry. Then how else can you fold this figure? If you fold it along these 2 points, opposite corners, then also your figure would be identical, two halves would be identical. So this is my third line of symmetry, and then the fourth line of symmetry would be when I join the other two corners and I get fourth line of symmetry. So there are total 4 lines of symmetry in this figure. So in this way you can find the lines of symmetry. Then another figure is drawn over here. So let us draw this figure. It is somewhat like a star. it is somewhat like a star like this. So in this way the whole figure would complete. Now the folding would be such that one folding would be along the rectangular portion, and so there are how many corners are there in this? The star corner, only the middle corner which the star has. So there would be total 1 2 3 4 5 6 stars are there. So 6 lines of symmetry along the stars, and then you have one of the bottom point. This is the one point, upper point along the stars. You have line of symmetry, and then there are 6 attached. There is a point between 2 stars, so one line would also be drawn along that point, so that would also be line of symmetry. So there are also 6 lines more of symmetry between 2 stars, between points of 2 stars. दो स्टार्स के बीच में एक पॉइंट है, वहां से लाइन ऑफ सिमेट्री ड्रॉ हो सकती है. सो देर आर टोटल 6 स्टार्स, सो देर आर टोटल 6 ज्वाइनिंग पॉइंट्स. एंड देन एक फोल्डिंग जो है वो कहाँ से हो रही है? वो हो रही है स्टार के टॉप से. सो वन फोल्डिंग इज स्टार टॉप्स एंड देर आर 6 टोटल stars, so there would be 6 lines. So total becomes there are 12 lines of symmetry in the figure. So in this way you can find the lines of symmetry. Now what does line of symmetry show? The line of symmetry is also called as reflection symmetry. Why reflection? Like in a mirror, suppose you write A and see it in a mirror, so you would get same reflection as this part. So in the figures that we have done so far, for example this rectangle, if I fold it from left side to right side, then I have two identical parts like A and A. If there is a fold, then A is exactly similar to the other A in a mirror. Okay, this is reflection symmetry. So in a mirror you get reflection. So this here, half of the portion is reflection of the second portion. So you can also call it as the reflection symmetry. What other figures we had? Like we had done yesterday an L-shaped figure. Now if I fold it one over the other, one leg over the other, then again this is like a reflection symmetry. Or if you have a triangle and fold it along one of the vertex, then it has a reflection symmetry. Half of the part is identical to the second part. So we can say that a figure that has line of symmetry or lines of symmetry is also said to have a reflection symmetry. So in this way we get the conclusion that all the figures that have line of symmetry or lines of symmetry, either one line or more than one lines of symmetry, they are said to have reflection symmetry. So in this way you can have the reflection symmetry. Now there is a paper folding and cutting method also to get the symmetry. We will do it, but before so paper cutting method, like we will do in the practice questions only. So let's start with the figure it out. Figure it out number 2. In this figure it out, we will get the how to get symmetry by paper cutting method. So we start with the first question, that is punching game. Now if you punch one hole, if it is question number 1, in each of the following figures a hole was punched in a folded square sheet of paper and then the paper was unfolded. Identify the line along which the paper was folded. So basically you have to find the line of symmetry in these cases. So let me take the first one. The first figure is, suppose we cut the paper and so it is hole is somewhere here at the ends of the paper. So you have to show, you can see here I have made holes, though they are different from the circular holes, but still there are holes on left and right side of the paper. So you have to find the line or the fold along which the fold has been made so that this cut can be made. So if I fold it vertically, then the one cut would overlap the other cut. That means what is the line of symmetry, or along what side the paper has been folding? It is folded along the vertical direction. So you would say that the first figure is like this. So what is the line of fold? Line of fold is vertical. Line of fold is vertical. Keep in mind that you have overlapped the paper horizontally. Okay, you are moving the paper horizontally, but the line of fold is vertical. Okay, this you have to remember. So it has been asked that what is the line of fold. So line of fold is vertical. However, you don't get confused. Paper is folded horizontally. This can you see the difference? What is horizontal? Like this. So your paper is folded like this. Okay, like folded horizontally, and vertical is the standing line. This is sitting line, and this is standing line. So paper is folded along the sitting line, but the line of fold is the vertical line. So this is the difference. If here it is asked what is line of fold, so you would say that it is vertical, and the punching circles are here. Now we look at the other figure.